Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Daxter's Chill Zone. We just kind of started talking. My bad. Hello. Welcome in. I'm Dax. He's Ray, and we're here on Daxter's Chill Zone, the podcast. Episode, whatever it is. Not sure when this comes out, but yeah. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're talking currently about with Spy Kids, and now we're talking about Shark Boy and Lava Girl and the 3D glasses eyes. All right, go ahead and continue your story, my friend.
Wait, so do you want me to explain what I was talking about?
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well, basically, we were making a joke. I was making a joke about 3D because I was asking if I should put my glasses on, and I remember because I never saw it in theaters, but I did had like the DVD, like 3D versions of the Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids 3, because those two movies were specifically if you watch it, it's like supposed to be intentionally for 3D or 3D movies or whatever, for 3D glasses. And in the movie, for whatever reason, like the director, I can't remember his name, Rico Rodriguez or something, he would have like under the subtitles, like at some point in the movie, he tells you, put the glasses on. And like, you had to like put your glasses on or else it just looks all, red and blue and whatnot. But then at some points you had to take them off. Like, it'll go to normal once you take off your glasses, like glasses on, glasses off.
Did you ever get the DVD that actually came with 2 pairs of glasses?
Yeah. It never really worked either. Like
wow.
Yeah. I feel like everyone would like to think that like, oh, it really works. Like, no, I feel like you had to need like a specific computer.
Or like screen or some sort, yeah.
Yeah. But the funny story that I was gonna say was that I went to the movies. I can't remember what movie we were watching before. It was me and my brother, and we tried to sneak in to go to see another movie, and we were going to see Gulliver's Travels. So Jack Black.
Yeah.
And we were seeing the trailer, and everyone's like, oh, we got in, like we're sneaking out, and then it starts to turn red and blue, and then like this was before Rio came out, and so like, hey guys, put your 3D glasses on, and we looked at each other like, oh. Everyone looked at us too. Like everyone have their glasses, they're looking at us, and we're like shamefully like, okay, we'll go.
I guess we'll leave.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It wasn't this was before like it was the red and blue, right? Because I was gonna say like when I worked at the movie theater, when we had like 3D or whatever the fuck it was, because I think they have 4D movies now. There's those glasses that you get when you get into the theater, but they're recyclable. So let's say that you want to go sneak into that movie, you could just kind of go into those recyclable and just kind of like grab a pair of old ones and then just put them on. Because I think they throw them away. Even though I worked there. I would pop the holes out, be a little hipster kid.
Yeah,
that was.
I had like I used to have the Toy Story ones. I had the Toy Story 3 when that movie came out in theaters. It was like yellow and black, and I really liked those. It kind of sucked because the whole movie was not in 3D, and it was funny because when we watched the trailers. All the trailers were like, "Oh, everything's popping out," and the only thing from Toy Story 3 that I remember that was 3D was like the intro, the logo, where it's like Toy Story 3, and then like things sticking out and smoke, and then everything else, like nothing popped up.
I think there's like specific movies that are like really good for that. I remember, I think it was Despicable Me, or like I think just that franchise, Despicable Me, did a really good job with like 3D. I remember specifically in the first one when he comes back from stealing the moon to make it to the recital. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen it. It's an old movie now.
I haven't seen the movie.
Bro, I haven't seen it. You just spoiled it. When he comes back to the recital, and it's like the pointy ship that he drives is like getting closer, and closer to the screen.
Mm.
Yeah, that's like one specific moment I can think of, but like they have a bunch of them in the franchise that like they do stuff like that for.
Yeah.
I never, to be honest, when they do that with certain movies, I think they did that with like certain live action movies, or like I think it could have been even like Marvel, like, you know, superhero movies where they were like, oh, it's in 3D, but it's like you watch it and there's not really much of a difference. So you just got, yeah. Like I remember the strange thing about it, a lot of people wouldn't buy tickets for that. When I worked at the movie theater, nobody was really buying tickets for like 3D or 4D like the movie, because it's just like, you gotta put the glasses on, So a lot of the time when like a hit new movie, like it can't be like Avengers Endgame-esque, because people will buy tickets for it. But like if it's like something a little bit like more like laid back, or like something a little bit not as like highly wanted to like watch, a lot of people would just not go to the 3D showing of a movie. They just didn't like it for some reason. So like we were able to like get free passes at work, because that was like part of our like paycheck, right? That was like our added bonus, was that we could get we would get these free tickets, and so we would just use our free tickets for those 3D movies. But yeah, there's not much of a difference. That's the point.
Yeah, it's probably because there's just people like it's irritating to look at, like, because there's some movies I'm trying to think of, like probably Spy Kids 3 and Sharper and Lava Girl, because it's, you know, like do you remember it was after the first Shrek, they did like a honeymoon short film?
Yeah,
you ever see, it's on YouTube. Yeah, and it's like basically like they have it clearly like, ooh, like it's like they intentionally put that in forward, so like, oh, so that the spider throws at you, they intentionally do that. And I probably
you know what you're talking about wasn't actually an attraction at Universal Studios.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you knew that. I was like, yeah, that they called it Shrek 4D at Universal, because like you would go and like you would sit in the chair, and the chair would actually like fucking move with the fucking thing that was going on the screen. Like when you're riding in the carriage with like Shrek and Fiona, your fucking chair is like going like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And then
I remember I'm sorry.
I just remember, I was just gonna say that I just remember that they had like little there's a part in that little film thingy with the Shrek honeymoon where like I think somebody or something sneezes, and like I just remember water would like shoot up at you, like, oh fuck, what the fuck? But yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I never been no, you're good. I never been to Universal Studios. Like I know a couple of those because I'll look up on YouTube like people recording and seeing that shit. I do remember Toy Story 3, or was it Toy Story 3? It was the ride in California Adventure, Disneyland California Adventures.
It was the Toy Story one?
It's called
it's the blaster, yeah.
And starts shooting, and that one was really fun. And a lot of stuff would pop out.
That one was pretty cool. I think there was a bunch of like cool rides at Disneyland. I haven't gone since because it's expensive. I mean, I remember my brother went on their honeymoon. I think wasn't their honeymoon? No, it was their anniversary. It's like 1 year or 2 year anniversary, and my brother's wife loves Disney. Like she's fucking crazy about it. Specifically, The Little Mermaid. She like just goes crazy about it. And they went for their anniversary. He surprised her. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna be going for 3 days," and they actually they rented a it was like some kind of like hotel over there. So like they were just a walk away from Disneyland, and I was like, "Wow, that's so cool." And they got to spend a good amount of time there, and I was like, "That's fucking tight." They were fucking broke, but they had a good time.
They lost their home. They lost
They saw the kids, the grandchildren. They saw all of them. Disney's gonna have them all working. Just a couple years when they start popping out. Yo, man, Disney, holy smokes, man. Disney is owning everything nowadays. Like they're dipping their hands in just about everything. I remember when news had just dropped about them having their own like Netflix, you know? It's like Disney. Yeah. It's like Netflix, but it's Disney. And everyone was like, whoa, what? What the fuck? What are they gonna have on it? And like it's a legit all Disney stuff. They've made like some kind of like deals with other things. I think they even made a deal with like Hulu. I could be wrong about this. They did?
National Geographic.
They have a bunch of good stuff on there. I need to find out where I can find Paramount Plus is coming out. I don't know if you saw the fucking.
I did an hour ago. I was like, yeah.
If you guys don't know, for the people that are listening, Paramount is it like Paramount Studios or something? I don't know, like their YouTube channel. If you look up Paramount Plus Super Bowl commercial, you'll find this commercial where all these characters from all these different shows and movies or whatever are showing up on top of the Paramount Mountain that you usually see when like the movie is like showing and it's like this big old mountain or whatever.
Paramount Mountain.
Yeah, so they're all like showing up on the tip, and then like they're going on about like what are they doing up there, and they're just talking about how it's going to be a Paramount Plus, which is a streaming platform, and you can go on there and watch movies and all this other stuff. And then they wanted to make it a little bit more weird, and then Stephen Colbert touches that do not press button, and it's fucking Sweet Victory with SpongeBob. Oh yes, yeah. Dude, it was so nice. I was like, what the fuck? I love this, man. This is great. And they reanimated it. They made it look a little bit more clean from what it was. It was really cool. Really cool moment. I give them props, man. That was fucking genius. Because we were robbed that other time because the Super Bowl people decided to cut them off with like that one dude, that one rapper. I was like, no.
Take notes.
Take notes, please. Take notes. Sweetheart. Sweetheart.
It's so stupid that they still haven't done that. Like, no, I would love.
You saw what they did, right? You saw what they did on the actual.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. They like people were thinking that he was actually going to do it, and then it's like it was just that like the trumpets, and then it was some just fucking random guy.
Yeah. And then I was like,
kind
of sucks.
Legit. That Super Bowl made me not watch Super Bowl at all. Like the halftime, I did not care anymore. Like I didn't even watch this year.
Yeah, this year I just kind of like saw memes from it, but I was like, I don't really understand because I didn't watch at all.
I saw bits of it, but it was alright. It was good. I liked it. People like either hate it or love it, and I see a lot of people hating it.
So, honestly, I mean, if you're talking about like the one with what are they called? The Maroon 5 guys?
Yeah.
That was bad.
Oh, Maroon 5.
That was bad.
Oh, yeah.
That was really bad. Homie had to take his shirt off to make it good, and then that wasn't even that great.
And then people criticized him. It's like, oh, he could show his tits, but fucking Janet Jackson can't. Which that's a whole nother fucking stupid thing.
That's society for you, baby. That's how life is. That's how it be. Something I wanted to talk about today, or I have, because me and Ray, a lot of the time when it comes down to this stuff, we're just like, what do we talk about? So we like before we do podcasts. Before we do podcasts, we kind of like come up with a couple of things of like what we can bring up, and something that I wrote down. I was wondering if you could live in any video game world, which would it be and why? If I got to choose where I got to live, I think I just wanted like vibe out with like Super Mario. Like their world is it's like huge, and I would love to go space, like going into space with Rosalina. I think that whole thing and her like vibe is just really chill. and like toads are very just really cool. I don't know. It's kind of cheesy, and it's like, oh, you're going for like this, you know, whatever world. Because like I thought about like you know, Metal Gear Solid and like all these other guys, like their worlds are really cool, but like they're kind of bad. Like I wouldn't want to live in them. Like I'd probably be the first to go. Like, all right, that guy's dead. Cool, let's move on. But yeah, I think I'd want to live in just like a plain old Super Mario world, and I get to meet my boy Luigi. Yeah, I think that's.
I was thinking. I was legit thinking that. I was thinking like Mario, but well, actually no. My initial thought was Mortal Kombat, but then I was like, no, that's like that. I would immediately die the second I breathe.
Yeah, you'd be at like some market and like you're buying some apples, and as you pick it up, it like falls out of your hand, like rolls over to like the middle of the road, and you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll get it. And so you like walk over to the middle of the road. Yeah, get over here. And then it's this guy's doing like this idle animation, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? No, not me. And then it's like you see the numbers like in the air. You're just like, oh god. Oh no. Oh man, that'd be great. But yeah, I wouldn't want to live in the Mortal Kombat universe, man. People die in like very graphic ways. It sucks.
And yeah. I would also say maybe Kingdom Hearts. Ooh. Like, you know, I can visit worlds. Shit. I mean, if I was able to wield a Keyblade, if I'm like just by myself, like it's cool to live in it, like to chill and whatnot. But if I wasn't able to like travel or at least have powers and shit, like
if I'm not Sora, I don't want to live in Kingdom Hearts. That's not what I want to do.
I mean, it would also be dangerous too, but like, you know, it's like, I mean, Mario's dangerous as well.
Yeah, but there's like bad guys in there, a couple creepy dudes.
I was gonna say Sonic too, but then I was like,
Sonic, you're too slow.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck about the characters, or at least the new ones can't anymore.
Have they introduced like new ones? Is it like one of those things where it's like people have like those original characters that they drew up on their own and like, oh, it's my original Sonic character?
No, I mean, no, it's just, it's the whole idea of Sonic now, like,
because you've been a fan like since you were younger. Yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of Sonic. I think the guy's kind of cool, but like I'm not gonna go out and like buy his new game or whatever. You know, that's just not me.
He's cool. I mean, I buy his IP.
I buy his albums. His songs are pretty tight. I love his rap.
I think he has flow.
Yeah. He has flow.
Yeah, but fucking oh yeah. Well, just like Sonic, it's more of his games and some of its story. Like, I mean, obviously he's very different from the original like Genesis, like 2D Sonic, whatever, and people love that and whatnot. People think he should be that, and I personally fell in love with the Dreamcast, like late 90s to 2000s Sonic, where he was like Adventure 1 and 2 and Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog, where they were in the human world and like I just love the gameplay and just the character Sonic himself. It's hard for me to explain what kind of character he was then, because I think a lot of people I think until Sonic Heroes, maybe Adventure, or one of the games, like that's when he was like, I'm Sonic, like, and got like, you're too slow, or,
chili dogs.
Oh no, it's because the anime like kind of portrays him as like I'm Sonic, and like just very fucking.
Come on, Tails, stop being a little bitch.
I'm Sally. And like shit like Aaron Hansen does, like from Game Grumps, and other people that also love Sonic, like they'll make quotes or some weird shit about. They'll make references of the '90s version of Sonic because he also had like 3 other TV shows. He had Sonic Underground, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic the Hedgehog the TV show.
I didn't even know about that.
Like,
I just knew that there was the one, and I think it was like on WB Kids or something.
Yeah, and like those were before Sonic X, and like he was also kind of like he's like, ha, like I'm gonna save the world, come on Sally. But then like with Sonic X it was like, I don't know. And then now this new Sonic, I want to say Sonic Colors Generations all the way to what we are now, Sonic Forces. And I think it's because of the voice actor too. I hate the voice actor that they have him now. I love Ryan.
Isn't he getting a new one? I thought he was getting a new one.
I hope so. I really don't like him. I'm sorry. I know you're cool. I'm sure you're a cool guy.
You're a cool guy. It's just, it's not for me. You're not my Sonic.
I like, you know, I liked Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffith. Jason Griffith's mostly known for most of the like Sonic X and a couple of other.
Who's the one that's doing it now?
I can't remember his name, but he's the one I don't like.
Because I know people were saying it wasn't like Jaleel White was his voice for like a little bit as well. No?
Yes, I think that's who it is. I
don't think Jaleel White voices him anymore. I think he was one of the first voice actors for Sonic.
Oh, sorry, Jaleel White. Yeah, he was the Sonic in the first TV show. Yeah, I like him. I like his voice. I mean,
I like him. So he's a nice guy. I call him from time to time. Check in. Hey, what's going on?
I mean, I like his voice. He's definitely like, again, I prefer Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffith. What the? Okay, let me see. I have to know. I have to like figure it out.
I have to know. I have to figure it out.
Does this have to know? Oh, come on.
Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes.
Roger Craig Smith?
Is that the guy that's done it recently? I know he just gave up the role. I know that. Oh, are you talking about the guy in the movie? Is that who you're talking about?
No. That's Ben Schwartz. But Ben Schwartz, he plays in the movie, not the video game.
Okay, I thought you were talking
video game.
Oh, okay, just strictly the video game.
Yeah, strictly. I'm trying to figure out if this is him. He's yep. This is the one.
This is him. This is the fucker.
It's the fucking asshole.
Because
I know he gave up the role of another game specifically for Sonic, and I remember people were so pissed off at that, and I can't remember what he's known for before Sonic. I mean, now he's known for Sonic, but like, yeah, Roger Craig Smith. He was in. Oh, he's Chris Redfield. Yes, in Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
And I remember people getting off of that. But I bring him up too because I don't like his portrayal of Sonic. Like, he seems so for kids. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, Mario's for kids, but like, but Mario has like.
But he just does it different. I just don't like him. Okay.
Like, you know, we're adults, and I still love Mario, and I'm
wait.
This is coming.
You love Mario?
Well, I love Luigi. But
okay, that's normal. That's normal. Okay.
But I mean, for me, like, this might be a shock to people. I didn't really grow up with Mario. I grew up with Sega, like with Sonic stuff.
Sega.
and so just like because I was just recently playing Sonic Forces, and it's so cheesy. like the dialogue of like a friendship and like nothing is better as bonding with our friends. Like I can defeat you, Eggman, with all my friends and shit. Like it's just so corny.
No, the power of friendship. Ah.
You need to make that a bit. Just like fucking, oh, my weakness, death.
Oh no, he's using his Taka no Jutsu on me. Oh.
But then I remember at the by the end of the game of Sonic Forces, spoiler alert, he's like, oh, we gotta clean this, like after the evil is gone, quote unquote. Like fucking Sonic like, all right, everybody, let's go fix the world. Well, we're not talking, I'm not talking about the weird reality that Eggman was trying to show us. We need to fix the real world. And like it's like, so it's clearly like trying to like have like a message of like heal, like it's so stupid. And that's what Sonic is.
What?
And okay, I hate that.
Yeah.
No, you're good. And so, and like, and I feel like that started with Sonic Boom. And to be fair, Sonic has always been about the Earth. Like the first game, like, you know, the whole point of him is saving these animals from being mechanical or whatever, like fucking robots. And by the end of the game, if you get all 7 emeralds, he starts growing
chaos control.
Yeah, fucking CD where he's like growing flowers and like there's like nothing mechanical or human related. And obviously Dreamcast is nothing like that. I know Sonic Heroes was like all about, let's show the power of teamwork. But it's just that moment. And Sonic Boom and Forces is all like that, but the entire game.
You're very passionate, and I can tell.
And another thing, I'm kidding.
Another thing, the thing that you brought up was like messages, like I guess you can call them like subliminal messages, because it's like, oh, they're talking about their world, but like they're also talking about our actual IRL world. I just watched the new. If people haven't watched my Daxter, or what is it, Dax Day. My recent Dax Day. I reacted to the new Shark Boy and Lava Girl movie. I put like little bits and pieces from the movie. And the thing that sucked about it was that I tried recording it, but I recorded it wrong, so it's just my face cam. I fucked up, my bad, G. It'd be like that. But yeah, so they had this message of like, it's no longer, cause like it was about like Shark Boy and Lava Girl were like, they were just like the adults now. They were just, and spoiler alert, it turns out like the bad guys in the movie were just, trying to have like these kids of this new generation of heroes step up to the plate and like save the world. It's so like cheesy, and it's like a really bad Spy Kids movie. And like the thing that's weird about it is that they have these like actors that are in like some serious stuff like Narcos from Netflix. So this whole time I'm like thinking about that while like homie over here that just like shot Pablo Escobar in the show, it's like this like wannabe Superman, and I'm just like, I can't with you, with this guy. What's going on? So I cracked a bunch of jokes, but it was just like subliminal messaging is what I was trying to get to, is that they have that in that movie. It's like the next generation is like the ones that have to protect the world or take care of the world now. And like they have this like weird ending. Yeah.
I mean, that's why fucking reboots, and especially like sequels that are coming from like year-old series, like Spy Kids 4, for instance. Like Spy Kids 4 tried so hard to be like, oh, like this ain't your daddy's Spy Kids, and like, oh, we're so much better. And like and Full House is almost the same thing. Our Fuller House is what the second series is called.
Fuller House, right? Right. Come on, it's Fuller House.
And don't get me started with the whole plot. I'm gonna go on another rant. Should I go on another rant about that?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna turn my light on. It's getting dark in here.
Yeah. So basically, the plot of Fuller House is pretty much the same as Full House, where like for Full House, it's I don't remember their fucking names. I didn't grow up with the show that well, but it's it's the father that lost his wife. I forgot. I think in a car accident or something. I can't remember.
I don't know. The bitch is dead. It's something like that.
Yeah, and then his brother-in-law and his best friend are basically helping him raise his 3 kids. And then in Fuller House, it's the same thing. It's the daughter and who lost her husband, and her sister and her best friend is taking care of her kids. And my rant, if anyone has seen the show, is just the whole obviously they just switched the genders, which is kind of lazy, kind of stupid, because I know definitely season 1 was like oh, Uncle Joey from the other series was like, oh, he did this when mommy was little, like I can do it better. And like that's like legit their dialogue. It's like, oh, I can do it more, I can make it or whatever. Like DJ runs away, but she stays in the garage, and they mention that. And so the son is like, oh, I'm actually gonna run away. I'm not gonna go to a garage. And like he ends up leaving and shit. And then one thing that upsets me is that they still have this whole idea, like, because the other series, the dad didn't really was looking for love or looking for another partner. I mean, it took time for him to like really decide if he wanted to go out or start dating again, and that's like later in the seasons. Fuller House, well, by the end of the first Full House series, because I used to watch the last couple seasons when it was on Nick at Night. DJ went to prom with Steve, with some guy who's known in the show. In Fuller House, she was married to somebody else, implying that they broke up. And then he comes at one point in the show in season 1. Where it's like, oh, and he still has feelings for her. And so I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then at middle of season 1, she's dating another guy named Matt. And I think what happened is that one of the writers was wanting to make him possibly the love interest and start to actually be part of this family and whatnot. And because I do remember that there were episodes where Matt, who's the love interest, there was moments where where DJ's looking at him with the kids and he's actually bonding with them, and it's like a cute moment. And it's they're trying to make it obvious that oh, they're probably gonna be together at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, the next episode, the writers decide to have fucking Steve, the former boyfriend, the former ex, whatever, end up kissing DJ, and just kissed him. Didn't say I love you or anything. Just kissed DJ, and then she's like, and then that's the entire series. The entire series is from season 1 all the way to 4. She's like, oh, I don't know who I should be with. I don't know if I should be with Matt or I should be with Steve. And it's so fucking stupid. And then it is. And even after the next episode, there's a bonding shit with her and Matt. And they're like, okay, they should be together. But then another episode, fucking they start fighting. And by the end of season 1, she's like, oh, I can't figure it out. I'm gonna have to think about it. And so they kind of go on. She goes on a double dates with them. She goes back and forth. Then season 2, Matt and Steve decide like you know what, fuck it. Like I like if you can't decide, I don't want to be with you. Like okay, like well that's what you get, DJ, for being a dumbass. And then Steve doesn't want to let go, and then tries to make her jealous by dating another woman named CJ. And then throughout season 3, they've been together for so long, and then they plan to get married. And at some point, Matt also ends up staying with DJ, and they end up becoming together. But they don't get married yet. But Matt does propose to DJ, and then they go to Japan for Steve's wedding with CJ. And then he hears supposedly that DJ still likes Steve at some point in the episode. And then like he's during the wedding, he's like, I can't be with you. And then like kind of like, and it feels so fucked up, just traumatic, because I can imagine CJ, because CJ's not part of the plan or anything. She's just a woman that fell in love with Steve. But he decides not to be with her because he heard a rumor that DJ might like him again or something. And it's so fucking high school-esque. It's like the writing's so stupid. And she ends up crying. She ends up being traumatized by the whole thing, like later seasons. And then Matt decides like, oh, let's get married. And then DJ's like, after seeing that, she starts thinking, oh, he might like me. And it's just so fucking stupid. And then fucking Matt is pissed off and he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm leaving. She doesn't get anybody. And then I think the 5th or 4th season, she's like,
how many seasons are there?
I don't remember, 5 or 6. I know it's way too long. But then, and I skipped over. I didn't even see the last few seasons. I didn't see the last ones. Like I freaking stopped. But basically, DJ tells Matt, even though there's been so many episodes where they're like, oh, he would have been a perfect husband, he would have been a perfect father figure, whatever. He's like, let's just be friends or whatever. And so he's not like a reoccurring character anymore. And then they just bring back Steve in it, and they end up dating and they end up being together. And I saw the last episode of the final series or whatever, just to see what the fuck actually happened.
Who ends up with who? That's what everyone is wondering.
Yeah. And they end up getting married. And I hate it. Do you want to know? Because I think what really fucks me up is that they separated prior to Fuller House, or prior to the 2nd series. And she was married to somebody else. She was married to some other guy. And I can't help but think that like what was DJ like? Would DJ fucking divorce her husband if he was still alive? Like if you had so much feelings and shit, and like you're supposedly you're like, oh, my only man is Steve. Like, okay, whatever happened to this fucking guy or your husband? Because I know Full House, it took time for him to wanting to date and whatnot. And even when he did, that like it wasn't like, you know, he forgave himself and he was hoping that his wife would want him to do it. And it's like, I mean, and granted, he still was like Fuller House. He ends up recurring, and sometimes he was dating. I think he dated like 3 people in that show, and it didn't work out. And I think by the end, he just has a girlfriend or something, and I don't know. It just pisses me off. It's just so fucking stupid.
That was like, weren't they? Okay, so that was Full House into Fuller House. Were you ever into any of like the other? Because I know that there was Family Matters around the same time is what I'm saying. Like another like those other like shows. It was Family Matters, Full House, Saved by the Bell.
I never got into that.
I never got into like any of this stuff except for Family Matters. That was like the only thing. Yeah.
I have a fun fact. I have a friend that I went to college with, and he's in the reboot.
Wait, there's a reboot for Family Matters?
No, for Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a guy I used to know in college that he is I think he's like I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer. I think he's like the choir member. Like he's like the leader of the choir gang or like the a cappella group that's in the show.
That's tight.
You'll recognize him. You'll recognize him. He's the one that riffs and like sings really great. He's an awesome guy.
That's cool. That's cool. Look at you. Ray knows a famous person. Ray, oh my gosh. You're so cool.
Okay.
talking about revivals, iCarly they just announced this. They just announced that iCarly will be coming back. The only thing is that they're not gonna have Jeanette McCurdy. Is that bad?
Or Noah?
Or Noah? Who's Noah? Oh, Gibby.
Excuse me,
Gibby. Yeah. Sorry. Well, because Gibby's Gibby's doing his own thing, isn't he? Isn't he like?
That's a good question. I feel like I saw some thread saying that or I know that the producers have contacted him, like they have tried to get him.
Gibby.
But I haven't heard any response or what. Other than the tried contacting. I know for Jeanette, I think she declined. I don't know if she declined or not. I can't.
I think she didn't want to come back into it because something about like Nickelodeon like scarred her. I'm not too sure what happened, but like she was just like, yeah, no, I'm done with that. I'm not doing that anymore. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because I know she used to make vines of Nickelodeon of like they were partly a joke, but this was like after Sam and Cat and everything, and I remember one specifically where she was like, hey Nickelodeon, it's me, remember me? And it's her fucking bruised up and like bloody, like she has makeup on and shit, but she got it's on Vine. It's on more, but like I'm sure someone did.
It's on Vine. Go check it out. Download it down in the description.
/Shane. But yeah. I know for sure it's probably also because of Sam and Cat. Because do you remember that whole situation?
I don't know too much about what happened. All I know is that she was in it, and then she was like, "I'm not doing this anymore," and then they stopped doing the show. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, because part of it was because the show ended mainly because there was some argument with her and Ariana, because at the time Ariana was starting to gain her music career. Like she released the I Love the Way with Mac Miller, I think that's his name, and she was getting more popularity, and apparently she was getting paid more than Jeanette, and Jeanette was like kind of getting upset at that, and then there were just arguments throughout the set, and then the show got canceled. Like they never even released a finale or an ending or whatnot. It only ended after season 1.
Wow.
And also too, because Ariana she never liked the red hair, because she, because the character was at Valentine, she always wore red, even though I think like the first 2 episodes of Victorious, she wore brown, and even in promos, but now she's known for red hair. If you've seen Sam and Cat, she's clearly wearing a wig. Like it's a specific hairdo. She used to have it all crazy, but she was always complaining that her hair was falling off, and so she decided to just have her wear a wig. So if you watch the later episodes, it looks the same, like whatnot. But yeah, but I think that also has to do with why she doesn't want to come back. maybe not for specifically for Sammy Cat, but I think just the idea of that show with its history.
I'm just that sucks though. It sucks that she won't be coming back. They just released iCarly on Netflix. I'm not gonna lie, I've been watching it. I've been rewatching iCarly, and man, does it they had, didn't they? I would have swore they had Drake and Josh on some.
I remember getting the notification on Netflix of saying iCarly's on Netflix, and I'm like, what? Like,
I gotta stop everything. I gotta watch it now.
Everything, watch every fucking. I don't give a fuck.
I don't remember where I put my iCarly hat. Upsetting. But yeah. So they're supposed to be coming back. I think the time frame is like this year or next year, something like that, or yeah, something like that. It looks, or it sounds pretty cool.
I haven't seen
that. There's like nothing. There's nothing like visual yet. They're only in like talks or whatever. We're getting Spencer. We're getting Carly. We're getting Freddie.
Gary Trainer.
And I think that's it. I think that's all that's like confirmed, I think, so far. I know that Freddie, I think the story is supposed to revolve around Freddie being a step parent. Yeah, strange, right? Yeah. So like it's supposed to be from
another house.
So it's supposed to be like a grown-up version of iCarly, and it's gonna revolve around Carly and like her adulthood. But now it's not about like she's not doing iCarly. Freddie's stepdaughter is doing like her own like TikToks, and that's what it's like kind of like going into. I know it sounds sketch, but I'm hopeful that it's gonna be coming out good. Like I will be posting that reaction of whatever that first episode or whatever they come out with, because I'm curious to see what they do with an adult version of iCarly. That it just sounds interesting to me. I loved iCarly when it was coming out. I was literally like every new episode I was on the channel watching for the next one.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's what I heard so far about what it's gonna be about. But I'm not too sure. What, because like I said, it's just the story for now, and we see from here on out where we go. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad that they're bringing that back. I mean, a lot of people were, after like this news has dropped, a lot of people just kept on talking about how like they wanted a Drake and Josh, and they're like, why haven't they done something with Drake and Josh? And a lot of people were like just kind of quick to point out that like like Josh, he's doing his own like YouTube, and like he's doing his own that stuff now. And then Drake is like, he also has a kid now, so that's something to take into account. Drake is like doing Spanish music now, and like he's got his own things going on. So I don't know. Would you want to watch a reboot, or not a reboot, but like a continuation of Drake and Josh?
No, well,
because can you remember how they ended it? I don't
remember.
I think they moved away, and that's how they ended Drake and Josh.
I have no idea.
I think that's what happened. I think they moved away at the end of Drake and Josh, and that's how they ended it. Because I know a big thing with Nickelodeon was that they never wanted their shows to have an ending. That's why a lot of like cartoons, when they were canceled, they never ended. So it was just like another episode, like a normal episode, and then that was it. That was the last episode. They did that with the Angry Beavers. If you ever watched that show, the Angry Beavers actually brought that up as like a little joke. Yeah,
got fired because of that. Because we're also too because the episode, I think like their draft or something like their episode was like mentioning Nickelodeon and like mentioning the voice actors who are playing the characters. It was all supposed to be all breaking the fourth wall, and like Nickelodeon was like pissed off at that and like basically fired them for it. And
yeah, but that's what I'm. So I think we're pretty lucky to get like some kind of ending, because iCarly kind of ended. You know, like they had an ending. It was it was really sad, but it was an ending.
Oh no, I cried because I mean the way they did it too was that like this they had to say this isn't goodbye. We Carly has to stay with her dad because she misses her and whatnot. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, we'll be back soon, and this is iCarly, and then yeah. Oh, you know my favorite part in that final episode, and it made me cry. It made like I was already tearing up, but then I
was already crying, but it made me cry even more.
My favorite part is right at the end, like legit. The final line is Freddy saying, "And we're clear," and then the video fades. You never seen that?
No,
it's like literally.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I remember her being on a plane.
He says like, "And we're clear," and then like that's the final line in the episode.
Wow, I don't remember that. I remember seeing Carly on a plane, looking at her phone, and then I remember seeing Sam on a motorcycle. But I don't remember. I remember her Carly saying bye to her brother, right before she goes back into the elevator to go downstairs. I don't remember what the fuck happened to Freddy.
Freddy. Well, he packs up everything from upstairs or from the attic, and him and Carly kiss one last time, and then I think he just ends up leaving, or like he's basically. I forgot what happens to him. I think he's just in his. I don't know. I think he just stares at her apartment door, like in the first episode where he's just peeking through, and now he's just staring at it. I think. I know Spencer is looking at the first sculpture that he ever made in the first episode, and it lights up on fire because he always lights up everything on fire. And then yeah, but my favorite is that he just stands and smiles, like he looks at it and is like. Because he knows that it's gonna happen. Now it's like
it cuts to like a building on fire,
and we're clear.
And we're clear.
And then Sam, she starts driving, or she starts riding her motorcycle, and that's when it says, "And we're clear." It's literally like he whispers it, but like, he says it very softly. He doesn't say it loud or like, "And we're clear." Like it's like now it's like it's over. And we're clear, and then immediately cut to commercial, or like the next episode of fucking
nothing hits harder than like a favorite show of yours when it's ending. Like I don't know, there's that it's like a loss. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. There's that feeling of like
my childhood.
It's like, oh man, that sucks. It's gone. Like that's it. There's no new things. There's not gonna be like the next thing, the new thing. What? And it fucking.
I'll never watch anything. I'll never watch anything else. After when SpongeBob ends.
Oh my god, dude! The thing is,
I will cry so much if they end. I mean, you know, everything has to end. And if SpongeBob closes, that will just falling tears. I'm just gonna quote. I mean, I still quote it every single fucking day, but I'm gonna keep it alive. Like I fucking love that show.
I think I saw something about like how SpongeBob could end, and it's like it just like listed like a bunch of things that are like throughout the show things that certain people wanted. Like I remember people in that thread were talking about like Squidward finally becomes this famous musician that he wanted to be. SpongeBob gets like his driver's license. Mr. Krabs becomes rich and he goes into like retirement and like closes the Krusty Krab. And so there's just like a bunch of stuff that these people I think it was in Reddit. I could be wrong, but that they were just kind of like coming up with like endings for SpongeBob. And as I was reading it, I was like, man, I don't want this fucking show to end. And like there's this movie that they came out with not too long ago, and I think they're supposed to be coming out with another movie soon for SpongeBob. So there's that. So I'm looking forward to what, and they I think they announced that they're trying to do like another SpongeBob series where like it's like they're like kids SpongeBob or something.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's a kids show. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. But it's definitely something that I'm not too sure about. But at the same time, it's not like directed to me. You know what I mean? Like Invader Zim, they came out with the movie. They know what they were doing. They when they came out with that recent movie, and they were like, they were talking about the people that had been there initially when we were younger and we were watching it. They kind of like brought up
more the new for us.
Yeah. So I get it. There's certain ones. Yeah, but yeah. Shows it different.
I appreciate you don't have to follow a specific demographic, or at least the people that used to watch it. Like, I'm trying to think of one that like a reboot or a continuation that worked really well. It was like Animaniacs, for instance. Like,
that's
have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the bits and pieces, like clips and stuff, but I know what you're talking about.
Like that one, would like the reason it really works is that, like, you know, they did their best in not, for one, trying to recapture the same feeling, like they like, or at least like not trying too hard in trying to make it original for the people that have followed it, but they also at least made it, modernized it, or updated a lot better for new audience to come and appreciate it. Or, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, there's still some bits that they'll reference. They'll reference Yakko saying all the names of the entire country and whatnot, or fucking Wacko's all the state capitals and states and whatnot, and they'll make tiny references, but like they do their best in actually not dumbing it down, not dumbing it or focusing on one. And I mean, that's my whole problem with reboots and live animation. I'm just trying to capture something and then just dumbing it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mulan, for instance. A lot of people hate Mulan.
Oh my god, that movie was so bad, Ray. Did you watch it?
I did. I don't remember anything. That's how much I liked it. It's the same thing. It was the same thing I had with the problem with Lion King and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I don't remember anything from it. Just like, and part of it, and it wasn't, and I was thinking, maybe it's because, it's clearly for kids, and I'm not like, you know, it's only
like
for
you feel like, okay, I'm old, and you think that like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be thinking like that because it's not meant for me. Like, this is obviously made for a kid, so it's not, you know, I shouldn't be thinking about it like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I never grew up with Beauty and the Beast. Or I didn't really grow up with that much Disney stuff. So like, you know, like watching that Beauty and the Beast, like I'd never seen the original one before. And so, and then watching the original one, I'm realizing that, like, especially with these reboots, they like to just only lean on the stuff that worked, or not the stuff that worked, but the stuff that made them so popular. It's like, for instance, if that we'll bring up SpongeBob again. Like, if they ever made a reboot, like, think, the famous moments of SpongeBob. It's
or like Dumb and Dumber. Like, Dumb and Dumber did some stuff. If you ever watched that,
like where they just do, like, what are they selling? They're selling chocolate. Like, that's a funny bit. Like, that everybody remembers that, and it's so good. And imagine that in the reboot, and they do it every single fucking time, or they'll kind of half-ass it. Like, okay, like Tom Kenny, who did the what are they selling? Like he gives out so much energy in that particular line, and then you watch the reboot where they do the exact same script, but then they just half-ass it, and their argument is being like, hey, we said, what are they selling? Like, it's like someone reading, what are they selling? They're selling chocolate. But haha, like we said the thing, haha, like
we made the reference, guys. We made the reference. It's funny again.
Exactly. Like, and that goes with live action Disney films, like Aladdin and especially Lion King. Like, in animation, or the original Lion King, like, it was all the faces, the expressions they make, and like the voices, like, it's so iconic and just very well done and like memorable. And then you have this live action version where it's just lifeless. They just say the most, like, the most like recognizable lines. So like, like, everything touches is our kingdom. I mean, not that
everything the light touches is our kingdom, Simba.
Yeah, and someone made a comparison with Beauty and the Beast where they compared both versions one by one of a line from one of the songs from the show, and saw the differences. That, like, the animated version was so
lively,
lively, and it's a very famous line. It's not like back then they thought, oh, this would be the most famous part. They just did it. Live action, they're like, just do it how it is in the show, and and they're it's like someone like trying to do an impression of a famous line, and you'll see some good ones, you'll definitely see some bad ones, and then but like their whole thing, it would be like, well, I said the funny line, you know what I mean?
Like,
and which is why
it
comes to me right now.
There was just like a bunch of bad things in the new versions of like the live action stuff. Some stuff that I can think of that that just kind of like turned me the wrong way, because like I can understand why maybe they thought, oh, we need to add our own little spice so that way it's not a direct shot for shot copy of the animated movie that like was before it, obviously, or they based the live action film off of. But like when it comes to like Mulan or Aladdin, and two things. So in Mulan doesn't, if you guys don't know, I guess spoiler alert, we're not really doing the story, but I guess it's kind of story. But like she has this it's been out a while, all right? If you haven't watched it, you're not going to. She has this power of like chi, but like the thing that I don't understand is that like they were going on like why the fuck Mushu couldn't be in the movie was because like, oh, that's not realistic. That's not that. But then Mulan has chi. What are you talking about? That's not. I don't have chi. Do you have chi? I don't know who the fuck has chi, but I don't have. You ain't got chi. You ain't got chi. I ain't got chi.
Goku has chi. Goku's a fucking character.
Like, yeah, for real, man. It was just so annoying.
Like, okay, like, it's unrealistic to have Mushu, fine. Like, but you also have fucking chi. You have like some weird, unrealistic movements. Like, it's supposed to be it's like very martial artist, but like some of it's like very like fantasy. God forbid we can't fucking have people singing or a fucking talking dragon, even though Why is that so different? And recently I saw a comment that I just remembered about Star Wars.
Oh god.
First
Here
of
we
all,
go.
I want to point out, don't at me, fucking Star Wars fan. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars. I really don't. It's not my tea. I'm not saying it's stupid.
It's just not. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad, but
here's the thing.
I like Star Wars, so don't come at me, okay?
No.
At him.
The music for Star Wars, for instance, because it was. I'm taking this from a comment from some video that it was discussing, the whole thing was about the music for, like, the famous Star Wars music, the fucking or even like fucking and I'm talking about the original Star Wars trilogy, the episode 4 through
whatever it is.
Whatever, like, those OJ with Luke Skywalker looking at the sunset, and then that epic music playing. I can't remember what it's called, but that's very well known. And watching it, like, if you think about it, like, that music, that setting tone had a meaning to it. It had a whole purpose. It wasn't like, I'm like, John Williams was like, I'm gonna make this epic fucking moment, or I'm just gonna write this music, like, it's gonna sound so epic. And, like, there's a lot of stuff that people write, and some people might think it might not be memorable, and some people might think it is. And like, and that, and especially Star Wars, like that, those music, that soundtrack and all, whatever, like, that's been used in all their movies and every Star Wars film or set or video game. Like, they always put that. And the biggest problem was that this person made was that the new ones was that they only put this music and this song in this scene only just for the fans. In reality, there's no meaning to it. There's no meaning to putting that song, because that song had meaning. It was like, okay, like, it's like fucking if you just have like a person, like, this is a Jurassic Park reboot, and then like I'm like running or something, and it just plays like it's, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of stupid, because that song specifically was played when with those two people, those characters, looked and saw dinosaurs. That's when, like, that gave so much life to that song and to that music and to that whole scene. And that's definitely a big problem with Mulan, is that when they cut those songs, like, they just put these songs like instrumental, and it's just to be like, so someone could be like, oh, it's fucking Reflection, or fucking
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, it, and I mean, and that's not just Mulan. That's just with a lot of other live action stuff, like, that doesn't have that song. They'll just, whatever. It's just like, it's just for the fan service, but really, like, it kind of feels kind of fucked up almost. I mean, and maybe it's not intentional. It's not like, but I think they just, it's like, it's like fucking putting a movie out, and then it's a terrible movie, but they just put Disney in it, or it says, like, it's a Disney film, like, oh, everybody should follow it. It's like, and it's also with people, like with Lin-Manuel Miranda, like, he has Hamilton in Disney Plus, and it's like, oh, let's follow that, like, because it's Disney or whatever. Like, I mean, it's not Disney, but like, they'll promote it as like, this is Disney's Hamilton and whatnot. And then instead of, like, taking as it is, I mean, not that Hamilton needs Disney. Like, Hamilton is already a successful show. It can do its own thing, whatnot. But now it's like, oh, like, and which also comes to my whole rant, was that because I know that they're either this year or next year, I know they're going to do Hunchback of Notre Dame, or they've been talking about it. And I know, and I love Hunchback. Like, that is like my #1 favorite movie of all time. And I know they're gonna fuck it up. I know they're gonna make some stupid shit. They're gonna like, and I know they're gonna half-ass it too. They're just gonna half-ass it and just be like,
Quasimodo's well, not gonna have a hunchback. He's just gonna be like,
well, no, like I know they're gonna be like there's gonna be a comparison to the whole sanctuary thing.
Sanctuary.
Like, yeah, and like it's not gonna be as good because I know that these creators or these people like are gonna be like they're just saying these lines without actually meaning it.
Mm-hmm.
And like and that's what's like most like that's the true crime. Like that's like the most like it's so
you feel like it's like disrespectful to like the original work.
Yes, yeah. I mean, this isn't just going with. I mean, we're gonna go to theater stuff now. This goes with movie musicals as well, like Frozen. Like, say what you want. Like, yeah, Frozen's great, and the musical version, it's good. But I feel like the only reason they liked it is because the movie, and like it's already famous and it's already well known. Like, and all the moments in that show, like that's from the movie, they either do the exact same thing or they overdo the song, like Let It Go, because at the end of the song it goes to a really high note, let the storm rage on. Musical version, it goes even higher, and it's like it's not necessary, like they're just, and it's also in a higher different key, so it's like rage on, the cold everybody be anyway, like it's so unnecessary. It just lost meaning to that song. And same thing with Love's an Open Door. There's like a nude added verse or some bullshit. Mean Girls is another big thing where like everybody knows like the quotes like, oh, that's so fetch, or you go Glen Coco. And it's so pushed like for the audience, like everyone's like clapping like, woo, he said go Glen Coco, or yeah, he said the thing that I remember. But
he made the reference. I get that reference. I get that.
Exactly. And it's just I mean I fucking hate it. I fucking hate reboots. I just hate
reboots. That's what we're naming this podcast, man.
That's probably what it is. I mean, like don't get me wrong, there are some reboots that are good. Like again, Animaniacs. I'm trying to think of another one. Fucking. Do you know any? I know there has to be a lot.
I'm trying to think of some actually right now. I can't. Well,
I mean, I'm not talking about Dark Knight. I'm talking about like the animated. I mean,
I feel like that's a little bit different because it's not really. Okay. Because like when it comes to like that kind of stuff, they're always sure it's still Batman, but it's not the same Batman, if that makes sense. Because like there's so many, like let's say like there's like 10 stories of Batman, right? And then for this specific series, it was this Batman. And then for this specific series, it was this Batman. And then over here, it's this now Batman that they just came out with like 3 years ago. It's a different version. And so it's just like going like that and like this. So when it comes to like, I think for like comics in general, I feel like it's just, you can't really say, oh, it's a reboot or like type of deal, if that makes sense.
Mortal Kombat, I would say. I mean, technically, it's a reboot.
They had a reboot?
Yeah, it was 9. It was Mortal Kombat. The 9th one was called Mortal Kombat.
That's right. You're
and
right.
that was essentially
like
just a continuation.
Right?
Yeah, because they end up going in time. So that 9th one is legit Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. But it's like it has its own thing. And I know recently they did a really fucked up retcon, which I don't know if you know anything about it.
I don't really follow Mortal Kombat stuff, so you feel free to tell me all about this.
Well, in the original timeline, this will be really quick. Sindel, which is a really famous character, she was playable in Mortal Kombat 3. but she was introduced in Mortal Kombat 2. That she was like the queen of Edenia, and that she had a husband named King Jared and their daughter Kitana. She's the fangirl, blue one. Yeah. And she basically, Shao Kahn, the bad guy, was taking over Edenia, and she sacrificed herself to protect everyone. She ended up killing herself, but then Shao Kahn wanted to still have her and whatnot, like wanted her as her bride. And so he asked one of the sorcerers to mind control her, and she ends up becoming evil. And that's all of like MK2 or MK3. And like that's her whole plot or whatever. And then up until actually no, I think somewhere when they kept remastering MK3 or Ultimate MK3, they started adding more story to the whole thing. And we basically she ends up getting out of the mind control, and somewhere either Deception or Armageddon is where she's now a good guy, and she's like, she was trying to protect her daughter and save everyone, but like she had an interesting story. And recently, just last year technically, they retcon her, where in the new timeline, she ends up her whole character arc or whatever is that she never cared for Kitana. She only wanted power, and she was basically a gold digger. And so she insisted on killing her husband, on killing her own husband, so she can be with Shao Kahn. And like now she's no longer like, oh, she sacrificed herself. She literally just like killed her husband and took over. And then, another sorcerer, Quan Chi, ends up killing her because they would distract Shao Kahn, and they try to fit that whole thing, and it ends up, by the end, we just know that now she's no longer a good guy. She never was. Now she's just a gold digger.
She's no longer... Just because you are a bad guy does not mean that you are a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we're talking video games, Resident Evil, I don't know if you're familiar with them. They came out with a couple of remasters. They came out with one which was just kind of like a touch up, which is like it's like the same game essentially, and it's like it just looks more nice with like HD graphics, like against like fucking 480p or whatever it was back then. It was just all pixelated and shit. So they remastered it, made it look all nice and stuff. That was Resident Evil 1. They also did 0. And then they did these big remasters, which like kind of like changed things kind of completely, kind of with 2 and 3, because 2, with those games, they made it so that it's still like the same story, but like the way they tell it is a bit different, which I really like when it comes to like remasters. I love it when they add their own like little thing about it, because it's like the new age or whatever, so like they add something new. But yeah, those games are great. Those I haven't myself played them. I know a lot of people love them. I've been meaning to get into them, like start playing them, because it's just a thing that I've just been lacking on doing. But in the future, I do plan on doing that, like experiencing them. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Why not? But yeah, so those games are pretty good, and they have just recently came out with the reboot of the third one. And I don't know if you ever played Resident Evil 4, but I am hoping to God, like I know that they've already done like a remaster where it's like it's HD version. They had one for the Wii. Literally, I think RE4 has been made for every console. Legit, every console except for like before it, which was like N64, those type of shits like before then. but every console after its initial release, which was like in like 2000 something, like 6, I think, it's been on every console ever since, because it's such a great game. Like, I love Resident Evil 4. Like, it's just so good. It's such a good game, and I'm just like, if they make a remaster of it or a reboot of it or whatever they want to call it, I'm just hoping that they do it justice, because man, it would suck if they remade RE4 and it's like really bad, and I just hate it. And but I don't think that they're gonna touch it. I personally don't think that they would, because like, if let's say everyone out there is like, oh, that game's a fucking masterpiece, like there's nothing that you could change about that game that would make it any better, I wouldn't want to take that fucking challenge. I wouldn't be like, all right, we'll see about that, and then you know, go ahead and try to change it a little bit and like make it like look like from like now. You know what I mean? Like a game from now would be like, you know, the mountains look like fucking mountains, and this fucking building over here looks like a fucking mansion or whatever. It's just like the visuals are just completely different. That would be nice, but at the cost of like maybe like a little tweak in the story that just doesn't really feel right. I feel like I wouldn't. It would upset me, like how much Sonic or how much Fuller House upset you. I feel like that would upset me.
Yeah.
I would really not appreciate if they like tweak something that I really liked about that game. And it's kind of weird to like say is because have you played the game at all?
Which one?
RE4, Resident Evil 4. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No? Well, they have, so on their menu screen, for their items or whatever, you're able to like increase your inventory. And like everything has like a slot. It's like the suitcase menu, and like everything, you can like move things around so that they fit better, or like they're in a certain spot of your HUD or whatever the fuck. And I really love that. Like if they had that in 5 or 6 or anything like that, I would go crazy, because I don't know what it is. Like just like legit, it's like appreciate the small things, because holy shit, I just really love. As weird and as simple as that is, I just love it so much. I don't know if anyone else can agree with me, but I just really love that. And I don't know if they should. I don't think they should touch RE4. However, if they do, I'm hopeful for like a really good game, because RE4 alone, like the original, is just amazing. But I don't know, you know, Capcom, well, it's not like Konami. Capcom is like, we have like, you know, the Resident Evil series. We've got the whole Marvel versus Capcom thing that they're going on, so they're okay. And they also have Resident Evil 8 coming out. I still need to play 7, but 8 is a continuation of 7. So there's that's going on with them. Something that's big in the news right now, something else, is that they are making, I don't know if you heard anything about this, Ray. A couple things. Uncharted, the game that Ray played on the channel. If you guys actually are interested in that, we had a whole playthrough of Ray playing through Uncharted 1 on the channel, if you guys want to check that out. But they're making a movie with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I don't know how that's going to work out, because, you know, they are who they are. But I'm hopeful that it's going to be good. And we'll see what happens. But so they're making that movie. That movie was announced a long time ago. It switched directors, and then finally, I guess it landed one, and then they started filming. And I think it should be coming out in the next couple years. I'm looking forward to it. Really excited for that. But in other news, you haven't played it yet, Ray, but The Last of Us, they just got confirmed for a TV series on HBO, and they just got their 2 actors, which for Joel and Ellie, and that's it's gonna be I don't remember how to pronounce his name. He's the Mandalorian. I don't remember what his name is. He's the Mandalorian. He's also the guy from Narcos. He was in, what was that movie? called? I think Wonder Woman. I think he was in Wonder Woman. I could be wrong. Ah, fuck. I don't remember what his name is, but he's the main character with another person from Game of Thrones. It was a younger actress. She was in Game of Thrones, and they're gonna have her play Ellie, and that's awesome. And I'm really hopeful that it's good. But at the same time, I just wonder, like, what else are they gonna tell? Because like here's the issue when it comes to like when video games could become movies. When there's a certain feeling or there's a certain thing that you get out of video games when you're playing them. Like, let's say I gotta grind 57 levels to get to where I want to be in this video game before I can go and fight this one boss. You don't get that feeling if you're watching a movie. So like there's that, I wouldn't say disconnect, but there's just you can't express that through film, I don't think. Like you having to go and grind. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of spouting nonsense, but I think a game and a movie are just completely different. And you just honestly, when a video game is said that it's going to be a movie, you just gotta hope for the best. It's out of your hands, but you know what? I'm hoping that these games or these movies, they come out with like a really good version or a really good outcome, because it's just, I would really hate that people that don't normally play the games be like, oh, this is a shit story. Oh, this is a waste of my time. Like that would really suck. Like if they made I know Super Mario didn't have a really good first movie. Their TV show was kind of cool, but if they made another one and it was just like the 3D or like Despicable Me, like they're animated little characters, like I feel like that would be not that bad.
I don't know.
No, I don't think it would be that bad, but like it would have to be like in a controlled environment, if that makes sense. Like you can't go and have fucking Mario have like an inner dialogue like, I can't believe that Princess Peach would leave me like this. Like you can't have Mario going and say like shit like that. But like, I don't know. I feel like them being like, I know that there was also like Netflix. At one point, they were pitching a Legend of Zelda show. That was almost a thing. And Link had a voice and Zelda had a voice. And it was kind of strange. I mean, they have voices. They have voices now in the game, but Link still doesn't have a voice. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's like just a bunch of video games out there that like I know people would want to see on like the big screen, but it's no longer
the problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
The biggest problem is, sorry for cutting you off. The biggest problem is that it's like you're also dealing with games or a specific type of thing, or you're dealing with characters that people know and associate with, and then you're putting them in, adapting them into a new formula, especially in a video game. That's even more challenging. Like, you know, like I can barely name a really good movie that was based on a game, but then there's been like movies that talk about video games that are really good, like Wreck-It Ralph, Scott Pilgrim, like those like they weren't originally games, but it's very well done, because I think part of it too is that we're introduced to that. I mean, I know Scott Pilgrim's an adaptation of a comic, but like, you know, but like Wreck-It Ralph, like now we know who he is and we associate that with that movie. And then you have Mario, the games, and then you have that Mario movie with John Leguizamo, whatever the fuck his name is. Like they just feel so dissonant. And then like you even watch that. I mean, to me, I like the movie. I don't care. I know it's terrible, but it's whatever. But I know for a lot of people, it's like Mario doesn't look like that, or Mario like Luigi is too thin or too whatever, and I mean that goes with a lot of other fandoms, like especially like Lord of the Rings, and especially Star Wars, where like it's like you're like, oh, you're ruining my character, and like you're gonna fuck it up. And
yeah, that new trilogy for Star Wars was really tough though. Like for fans from like the loving all the stuff from before. I feel like a lot of people like the prequels now. Like I've seen so much love for like the
people are loving the prequels because now they're appreciating how
they're just like, it was better than these sequels here. Oh my god, it was. Oh my god. So I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
I didn't really like it. I mean, and I'm not saying it's terrible. It was good. I didn't get into it. It's the same thing with Star Wars. Like I know, like Star Wars. I think Star Wars is amazing. The universe, the whole, like everything about it's really good. I just never became a big fan of it, like most people. Like as a, I like The Hobbit. I like the Hobbit movies than the Lord of the Rings, but.
Yeah, I've never seen any of like their stuff. I remember I think The Hobbit was on TV once, and like I was watching like a little bit of it. It looked cool, like the visuals looked really cool, but like I've never seen the movie, so I feel like I'm kind of missing out. I'll have to watch them eventually. I've never seen the movies, so I definitely want to like get into that. At one point I was really thinking about getting into like Star Trek. I just don't think that Star Trek is my vibe. Sorry to everyone that's
not.
Like I'm sorry, but like you know what, you can like whatever you want. I just don't think it's my vibe. But you can vibe out with all that, you know, live long and prosper, you know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say something. What? Oh yeah, and I would also like to say too, because I know I've been like ranting the like, you know, the like these new reboots or these new reimagined versions of other things. Like, I'm not saying that like they shouldn't be different or anything. Like I'm saying that they should be original and trust in its own self that it can be good or be its own thing. Like I just remembered a series that Tron Legacy. I don't know if you know the movie Tron.
I know of it. I never watched it.
Yeah, there was a movie that came out later on, I think 2010, and then like I think 2 years later or a year later, they had a TV show that was sort of like a continuation of the reboot or whatever. But it was its own thing, and it was actually really good. And like it didn't fall too much on, oh, we have to do it exactly how the feeling is in the movie version. And I just remembered another really good reboot, Legend of Korra. Like, and I know
I would say that's more like a continuation. That's not really like a reboot.
Yeah, but I know, but it's its own thing. Like, you can say that it's its own thing, and you know, it's not like it doesn't like you know, it doesn't like hits us in the head with like the famous lines in the original or in Avatar. You know, the cabbage. Like they did do it. They reference it a couple times, but it doesn't hit you in the head. Like like you know, like yeah. That was really good. Your fucking eyes were like,
yeah.
and like you know, and it's willing to have its own funny bits. Like has its own funny moments. Like the twin daughter or the twin sister that like is in love with like with her fucking hair. Yeah, like she's funny. Like just everything about that whole like
if we're gonna talk about Korra, I'm gonna let you finish.
But Avatar was the best Well, I'm gonna do
But
serious.
but fuck Korra, man, for turning down my boy Bolin, man. Fuck her for that. That was fucked up. And she kissed his fucking brother. Fuck her for that. He got her flowers. Fuck her for that. All right, I'm out. I'm out.
That did make me cry though. I was like, I felt so bad for Bolin because I've been there. I've been there with just like,
that was so fucked.
Yeah,
He's just like.
Yeah. But I was just saying that, like, if a continuation or a reboot, whatever, it should be its own thing. Like, imagine if Avatar didn't exist and we only had Legend of Korra, like, it would still be good. I mean, I think people are back and forth with. I mean, majority people will say, and even I will agree, Avatar is better. Like, or what I mean. Like,
Aang is better than Korra.
Yeah. But then, like, just imagine without that whole argument, I think Korra would just be as good as Avatar. You know what I mean?
Like you mean like on its own type of deal? Like if someone never watched The Last Airbender and they just went to Korra, they wouldn't. Not that they wouldn't be missing anything. They kind of would be though, because like they.
But let's just ignore that. Like we know about the fucking, I can't remember their names, but like the characters that like, oh, you're the son of Aang or whatever, or
fucking Tenzin, yeah.
Yeah, Tenzin. Yeah, I've forgot his name.
It's Tenzin. We got Toph. Zuko's in it. Katara is in it. Sadly, Sokka is not because homie got fucking knocked. Hit him for 60. Hit him for 60. Your dog water. Yeah. But
and so like because like even like in the Avatar, the first series, like Aang was trying to follow, was trying to prove that he could be just as good as the Avatar before him. What was his name? Ozai?
No,
Avatar Ozai, was that his name?
It was Avatar Roku.
Roku. What? Who's Ozai?
Ozai was it was the bad guy to Roku. It was Roku's old best friend.
Oh yeah.
But then they started. He started the war.
Just imagine that if Korra was its own thing, and like she could be having like the same thing as Aang, where like okay, like we don't know who Aang is, but like we follow up some episodes. I'm like, he's a cool guy and whatnot. But but that's my whole point. Is that like I feel like an adaptation or continuation should be its own thing and not just lean on the other stuff that was famous for it. Like like I know like Powerpuff
It should
Girls,
be
Reboot.
It should be good on its own, is what you're saying. Like it shouldn't need the backing or like the hype of the one before it. Like I get what you're saying. It's like if we made a show, right? If we made a show that was like really fucking good, that like we made a show that was really fucking good, and then everyone like we'll just call it like Star Chase, right? Like we made a show called Star Chase. It's really fucking great. Everyone fucking loves it. But then we make something that's called like Star Advanced, and then like it's about the future or whatever. If somebody were to watch Star Advanced, they shouldn't need to watch Star Chase. Is that what like?
Yeah, it'd be
like,
cool.
Yeah,
it'd be cool, but you don't need to, or be like, oh, I don't get this reference, or why are they pushing this joke about bananas? Like, let's say like the original series had a joke about bananas, and they keep hitting it hard on the Star Advance. That are like, why are they doing that? And then actually no, never mind. I was gonna say Carol and Tuesday, but like that's its own thing. But don't worry about it.
Okay.
Sam and Cat. Sam and Cat It was.
I never
its own
watched
thing.
it. I never watched it. This is all you. I've never watched it. So you're gonna be the one that's like.
I liked it. I know people were so upset. I mean, I was more upset because Victorious never got a final episode or never got a goodbye or anything. iCarly did. But
yeah, never got iCarly's like ending or whatever. They never like graduated or whatever.
Yeah. And I know Sam and Cat, they basically I mean, have you watched any episode?
Wasn't it just kind of like Victorious and then like Sam?
No, it was just. I mean, there was an episode
because like didn't they have the same characters?
No, I mean it only had Cat, and then there was one episode where they had three characters from Victorious, and then we also had Freddie from iCarly visit. That was like one episode. And yes, Sam and Cat does take place in LA where Victorious is. And so like I think there's only like one area that they actually visit, which is the same set from Victorious, but everything else it's its own thing. Or its own the restaurant they go to, it's like a robot restaurant, that's all Sam and Cat. Their house is someplace different. Oh yeah, because that's right. Because I just remembered the last season of Victorious, Sam was living with her parents, and then she moved out and ended up living in the school, like in the attic, because of weird, stupid shit. And then by the end of that episode, they say they're like, "Oh, you're gonna live with your nana or with your grandma, I think." And then that sets the whole transition to her in Sam and Cat, because she says she lives with her nana. And then by the end of the first episode of Sam and Cat, they end up taking over her home or her house. And so it's just Sam and Cat's living together and two other new characters.
Okay.
Although I will say that I found out recently that Sam and Cat technically did continue, but not really. So like there's a character in Sam and Cat called Goomer, which I didn't realize until later on. I just found out last year that that character specifically, they kind of like retcon him where he's basically a double agent and he's part of the Henry Danger series. That's another TV show. I never was in it. I didn't know anything about it. And people have made theories that he's like a henchman to this villain who most people believe that it's actually Cat's brother, because she mentions him always in Sam and Cat and especially in Victorious. And then I think they did make an episode of what happened to Sam and Cat, or like their characters at least. But I don't remember. But I never saw it. Like I've never seen it. I just know that character, that actor too, is still in the same
like role.
Show. Yeah, he just happens to be continuing. So technically, it's Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, and then a new one that's coming out, which I don't know what the fuck that's all about.
Well, I think we're done for today. I think we I think we did a pretty good reboot podcast. That was like 5 hours.
It's like the end of season 1 for the podcast.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in season 2. I'm Dax.
I'm Rey.
And this is I'm Daxter.
Rey!